Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another apartment hunting one. However, I am looking for one for my partner this time around. He is looking to move out into somewhere that's a bit closer to the city, closer to the train station, and he's happy to pay at most $500. And the apartment needs to have at least one bedroom and at least one car spot. So I started looking at the suburbs nearing the city, and I actually ended up with two main suburbs which we are going to visit or go through today. We actually went to the apartments yesterday, so everything's really fresh in my mind. Because we know that the market is hot, as soon as you find a place that you want to inspect, we are already ready to move in within 1 week. We have to be mentally prepared and also obviously get your own place prepared to move into the next place, just because things are going quickly. So how I ended up with these 4 apartments was I basically used real estate and I filtered it by obviously my main criteria, which is pricing, bedroom and car spot. And then I would kind of zoom around the map and only pick places that were close to a station while staying within a certain proximity within the city. I would have that place, or I would have that whole website bookmarked, and every single day I'll jump back onto the website and see what new listings there are. So what this means is that once you click onto a listing, when you have the map view, it is a red dot. Once you click into the red dot, it's no longer a red dot and it becomes gray, which means that you've obviously already looked at it. And so the next day when you go back on, you look at all the new red dots and it makes sure that you are up to date and you know exactly what new apartments are coming up, because sometimes if you restart that filter, you have to look through all the same red dots and sometimes you can't really pinpoint what the new apartments are. So with that method, I ended up narrowing down to 4 apartments, and we all viewed them yesterday from morning to afternoon. And I think that's the best way because you have everything fresh in your mind as opposed to staggering the inspections and then doing one weekend, the other another weekend. It just makes it a little easier and it helps you make your decisions a bit faster. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. I just have my laptop open here and I'll be viewing it down here. But the first place we went to was Walleye Creek. I haven't decided whether I'll share the address with you guys yet, just because we may or may not be applying for these places. But either way, let's jump straight into the video. So I just did a quick video here of the number of people waiting at the lobby to get taken up to the apartment. But this place is really close to the city. You can see Walleye Creek Station just 1 minute away. And as soon as you come up, you go to the bathroom straight on your right. I'm just gonna skip ahead because there's someone here and I do revisit the bathroom in just a minute. As soon as you come out of the bathroom, you come into the lounge and dining area, which is not huge, but it's a doable size. And then you've also got some storage there. You walk into the bedroom and the first thing I noticed was that it wasn't a straight square or a rectangle. It was more like a slanted room, which would have been a bit awkward if you tried to fit your bed in there, but it does have an inbuilt wardrobe. And then across the lounge is your kitchen, which has 2 sides to it, which always makes it a bit bigger, a bit more comfortable. You've got your washing machine, your oven, your gas stove top. Everything seems fairly new in the kitchen. Didn't really love the curtains, the lacy ones, looked a bit old and ugly. And then you walk straight out into the balcony here, which is right next to the station. If you're familiar with Walleye Creek Station, next to the station is also Woolworths and a lot of other Asian, but also other grocery stores. Back in the bathroom, I remember just not liking it. It felt like there was a lot of dirtiness, like grime, especially in the shower and the floors. Even the toilet wasn't that modern. I think I show a bit of the hallway here. You go straight down and then on your right is the lift, which is also secure, which is definitely a plus. In terms of final thoughts of this place, I liked it, but it was small. It was definitely really dark and dim. The flooring wasn't great. You can see that the carpet isn't that new. If anything, it looks a little dirty, so you would definitely need to steam clean it when you do move in. The room was too small. If you want to work from home, you won't really have a dedicated study space. Your lounge room, which is already not the biggest size, will be your dining room, will be your living room, will be your study room. Your storage is just your wardrobe and the outside shelves. The toilet isn't the most modern, but you definitely can make do with it. The kitchen is probably a big plus because it has everything and looks new, and the balcony as well. But the balcony probably also needs a bit of cleaning. For the pricing, it is $480 a week excluding utilities. This is on the cheaper end of things if you want to be that close to a train station and also 2 to 3 stops away from Sydney CBD. However, I think for me, I'm happy to fork out a bit more to get a nicer place, and so this place was a pass for us. So after that, we then drove about 10 minutes to Mascot and viewed 3 different apartments. Out of these 3 places, one was in a single apartment complex and the other 2 were actually in the same complex. It was just on a different level. They're actually priced for the same amount, both $500 a week, but because they are different landlords, I think that's why they didn't really have a price difference. I would imagine the one that's higher up would be more expensive, but I'm not sure why, they're just the same price. Starting with the apartment that's in its standalone building complex, this one was $530. Before we got there, I think we actually got there 10 minutes in advance, and you can already see the number of people who are waiting in line, which is quite intimidating because you just feel like there's so much competition, there's so much demand, and you're really thinking, how can I stand out? If I really like this apartment, how am I going to be able to put an application that makes me stand out? So because there were so many people who wanted to view this apartment, we actually needed to wait in line, and they took people up in batches of 3. So here we are just waiting at the lobby, but just a quick look at the lobby, it looks old and there's also only 1 lift. So we get into the lift, it's okay, and from memory, it's not a secure block, which means that anyone can get up to your level. We go in, and it was a bit awkward just because the tenant was still there. And I think at the beginning, I'm kind of just sussing out if it's okay to film. And then I think I asked the tenant and she's all good with it. But I remember not checking out the kitchen properly just because she was standing inside it. You go in and it is so deceiving. The photos on real estate are so much brighter than what it looks now. Right now it looks dim, it looks dull. The carpet doesn't, no comments on the carpet, it's a standard carpet. But the good thing about this place is that they have a balcony, and in this balcony, they also have a fly screen door, which if you watch my previous videos, you'll know that I really love doors and balconies that have a fly screen. You exit the lounge and then you have your bathroom straight ahead. I really like this bathroom just because it does have a bathtub and a shower separately. I'm not a fan of showers that are inside a bathtub, so having this both separately is a real win, sorry. And then on the left here is the bedroom, which has the connecting balcony to the lounge's balcony. They have this little inside here, which I guess is additional storage space. And then obviously you can fit some coffee tables, you can fit your bed, and then they also have a mirror wardrobe. I'm not a fan of mirror wardrobe, but it's not a deal breaker. So you can see here, they also have fly screens on their balcony. I think all in all, I liked it, but I just didn't think I was able to spend enough time here to really explore it just because the tenant was here and other people were waiting to inspect the place after us. I tried to go in the kitchen, but I just felt a bit awkward. But over there, you can see there is a laundry room. As you can tell, no secure lifts, so anyone can come up. And this is just a quick view of what the apartment looks like outside. So fairly new, on a big street as well, on a busy street, sorry. This place was $530, which seemed insane retrospectively just because it probably was the worst of the 4, but it was priced the most expensive. So sometimes the price doesn't always correlate to the quality of it. Just because you see a place on real estate or domain that's expensive and the photos look good, it doesn't really mean that it is good. You really do need to go in person and check it out or organize an inspection to really look at the place thoroughly. This place was also about 6 minutes walk from the station, which is fine, but I think the main thing was that it was really dull, and it just didn't seem new. It seemed a bit worn out, and so because of that, we also won't be progressing with this. As I mentioned earlier, the next 2 places are in the same apartment block. One's on level 1 and one's on level 3. The first one we're going to view is the one on level 1. So we've arrived, and as you can tell, it's a single lift, which honestly, I don't know why, but I never really noticed it, but you always want to find a place that has 2 lifts. It just makes it a lot easier, especially if you're in a rush or on the go to get somewhere. You don't want to be waiting for ages to get in the lift. And so over here, you can see that this is a secure block, I believe. So I think the agent had buzzed us up. And again, there's always a couple people at the inspection with you at the same time. But first thing I noticed when I left the lift was that this place has a long hallway. So I'm just trying to figure out which side it is, but you can tell it is a long hallway, and we actually ended up walking about 8 to 10 different residential properties 8 to 10 apartments down to get to our one, which is not a big deal, but it's just a bit of a long walk, and it's something that I noticed because it felt like a long walk. So I'm just gonna skip ahead to when we get to the place. So you can notice the apartments on the left-hand side, especially the one that's upcoming, is straight on the hallway. So if you ran out the door, you might or might not bump into someone. But the apartment we're viewing right now has a little indentation, and so even if you come straight out of your place, you still have about 1 meter before you would bump into anyone, if that makes sense. First impression, really good. Your kitchen's right here on your right-hand side. You've got your oven, your gas stove top, and your dishwasher, and also some space for your fridge. First flag here is that the carpet is dark, it's patchy, but also not a deal breaker. It probably would just need a bit of a steam clean. And then right next to your lounge, or I guess within your lounge, is a study space, which is something that I love. I think I'll go into that detail about that later, but over here is your bathroom. There's a light and a fan, which is the same switch, and then I think there's a separate light that's just a vanity light, but I don't think I show it in this video. Over here, right outside your bathroom, is your washer and dryer. So they do provide a dryer, but you do need to bring your own washing machine. And then back here is the intercom as well as your study. And this study is great because it has its own door, so you can get some privacy if you wanted to. Over here is your bedroom. You also have the balcony with the blinds connected to the balcony from the lounge. Got a pretty good view here, not complaining. It's just some trees and also like I think some warehouse. So you're not looking directly into someone else's apartment, which is obviously a big plus. So always check the tap. You want to make sure that the water flow is fine. I would always check the shower just because there were people waiting after us, I didn't want to take up too much time. Check the storage, and I think that's it for this apartment. All right, last apartment. This apartment is a couple levels up, as I mentioned earlier. The layout is exactly the same, but I do want to flag a couple differences between the level 1 and level 3 apartment. We walk down this really long hallway again, and that's the agent there in the white. So we walk down this really long hallway to get to the apartment. Same thing, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that it's a different apartment, but you come in, and can you notice the apartment carpet is different? It's a lighter color, it's fresher, it looks like it's freshly added in. And the agent also shortly confirmed that they are new carpets. You're slightly higher, and so your view is a little better. And the place also just looks brighter and looks better. And then over here is the bathroom. So as I mentioned earlier, there are 2 separate lights. There isn't a heated lamp. You've got your first original light, which comes with the fan, and then your second light, like this one, is the vanity light, which is a big plus. I really like that. It sets a whole different mood, especially when you want to do your skincare at night. You probably just only need your vanity, or when you need to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you probably only need your vanity. The shower looks clean, toilet, sink, all no problems. And then the same thing, exact same layout. You've got your washer, you've got your dryer. No other comments around this. And then you walk back here. I was just really admiring the new carpet. I'm sorry about the filming, like it's just a bit awkward with other people. I just want to make sure I don't interfere with them. And then you also see Center Point Tower, which is really lovely. The balcony also looks very clean. And then no changes here. You've got your study. It honestly looks a little brighter than the one downstairs, just because it maybe a bit more sunlight comes in. And you've got your light in here, and you've also got its own door. So again, a bit more privacy there. And then over here is the bedroom. I don't love the mirror wardrobes, as I've mentioned earlier, but as long as you're not facing it when you wake up, I think it's okay. You've got your big windows and balcony door letting in so much sunlight. And straight opposite there is like some factory. And then moving along, coming back out to check everything else. I think that's all I ended up checking. Over here, some more people attended just because it's freaking crazy popular right now. Again, checking the water flow, all looks good, a bit of a delay, but all looks good. And then you've got your intercom, and then I was checking the lights, I think, just to make sure all the lights work, but also just to see how many lights there are. I found that living in my apartment, sometimes it can feel really claustrophobic. And one thing that does make a difference is just using a different light during different times of the day. Because there is only one lift, I decided to check out the emergency exit. Because we are level 3, it is 3 levels up and 3 levels down whenever you want to go anywhere. I mean, I had no issues with that. The only thing here is that if you do choose this option, or if you do choose to use the emergency stairs, you will need a key, and it's a bit tentative whether or not the agent or the landlord will provide you those keys. They're here for you to leave on an emergency, but I don't think they're going to readily provide it to you just to go in and out instead of using the stairs, instead of using the lifts, if that makes sense. So that wraps up the inspection. I think we are leaning towards applying to one of these places, but we're not super confident or hopeful that we will get it, just because everyone has probably put in a pre-application before then. And with rentals, it really does seem like, I mean, I don't know for a fact, but it does seem like it's a first in, first served basis. And so I loved this final apartment, but I think it's most likely that we are going to have to keep looking, using the same method, looking at the dots that are no longer red, looking at the red dots instead of the gray dots, which are already viewed. I'm going to give it maybe about another 1 week before I organize another set of inspections, and then when I do, I will take you along with me. But I hope you guys found that this video was helpful, gave you a bit more of a glimpse of what it's like renting in Sydney right now. It is hot, do have to get in quick, but I can guarantee you, if you do the right research, spend some time organizing every single day, look at what's new, you will be able to find apartments that are to your liking. That being said, you will not find a perfect apartment. I'm just going to put it out there right now. If you find a perfect apartment, the price isn't going to be perfect. Or if you find the perfect price, there might be certain things that just don't meet your criteria. For instance, it might not have a car spot, it might not have a study space. So you do have to kind of sacrifice some things to gain others. But I guess that's kind of understanding what your non-negotiables are when you are renting. Anyways, I feel like this has been a really, really long video. Thank you so much for staying to the end if you are still here. I really, really appreciate the support. Please do subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. It also means that I can monetize my channel faster, and once I can monetize my channel, just for full transparency, obviously I can spend more time on this, providing better content for everyone. And of course, if you enjoyed it, please do give me a thumbs up. It also really, really helps. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.